So doing my bone broth a little bit differently today. So I've got 4 bone marrow bones in there, 2 pounds worth. Filled it just over the bones. I'll add some apple cider vinegar and some water. I'll cook this about 25 minutes and then I'll eat the bone marrow, and then I will add the bone beef soup bones, and then I'll go with my regular bone broth making recipe, which I'll show you here after I do this. So add apple cider vinegar and lots of salt, and there's onions on the bottom of it to add a little bit of flavor. So we'll see how it turns out. So it is done. Bone marrow, I let it release on its own. It took about 14 minutes, and I have created a sandwich. So 1 duck egg, wild pastures pork, breakfast pork sausage. Thought it was going to be bigger, but didn't put enough down. Onions, and then my bread is going to be 2 slices of Swiss cheese. I'm going to rub the marrow on the Swiss cheese and see how it goes. So I got 0.64 out of 3 out of 4. The 4th one I'm just going to eat and enjoy. But don't forget to eat all the other meat and sinewy fat and collagen on the other parts. All right, so gonna enjoy this cheese, bone marrow, duck egg, sausage sandwich. I am in front of the open window. This is my dinner. So watching the sunset as I eat this. Expose the brain. Expose as much skin as you can. Skin in the game, baby. That's good. Very good. Right? All right. I'm going to finish the rest of this. If you've never had bone marrow, give it a go and save the bones. Make the bone broth. I'll have another video where I show you the finishing product of what I do with the bone broth and everything. Because I can't stand store-bought bone broth. It just doesn't taste right to me. My version's a lot better. Otherwise, eat healthy, stay strong, stay positive, be the improvement warrior. Say bye-bye. So I'm combining this video into one because I don't want to make 2 videos out of this. But as you can see, it's getting a little darker. So, but I just put the beef soup bones in there, and I will just let it stew there for about 15-20 minutes. Just warming up on just warm on the Instapot. I'll add the water up to the fill line. You do want to make sure your bones are completely covered with water. Then you're going to add your spices. It is February as I am making this, so I will not. The only vegetables I'll add is onions. So sometimes usually when it's warmer, I would add carrots, mushrooms, and celery. And then you do want your spices, salt, a lot of salt. The thing with salt is if you oversalt it, then you're just going to have to add water when you're drinking it. If you undersalt it, you're just going to have to add more salt. So salt, pepper, I usually add turmeric, garlic, thyme, and either oregano or basil is the spices that I'll add. And then I'll add 3 3 tablespoons of apple cider vinegar. And I'll do that. So I'll out of this. So there's 4 pounds of bones in here. I typically will make one batch, and then I'll typically make 4 or 5 batches. So four batches I will freeze, and usually the 5th batch I make like a stew or a chili out of it immediately. But yeah, so each batch obviously getting weaker in terms of nutrients and whatnot, but it's still better than nothing, and I think it still tastes better than store-bought bone broth and whatnot. Maybe they've improved it, I don't know. But all these bones and the breakfast sausage that I was eating earlier comes from Wild Pastures. You can check them out, 20% off for life and $20 off your first box. ImprovementWarriorFitness.com/wildpastures. Otherwise, bone broth is an absolute staple, and yeah, I don't think I should mention obviously good clean water when you're doing this, but yeah, that's my bone broth plan. So, or how I make bone broth and whatnot in the Instapot. So I used to do it but I would only get one batch out of it. So it took forever. So when you do cook it, soup, adjust it to high, and then the highest amount of time I can put on here is 120 minutes, so 2 hours. So, but that's it. Make your bone broth. Make your gut better. And I will see you later. Have a great day. Stay strong. Stay positive. Be the improvement warrior. Say bye-bye. I did forget to mention, with the apple cider vinegar, the purpose of that is to help leach the minerals and vitamins out of the bones so they get into the broth. So when you drink it, it gets into you. And also, when I do cook it 4 or 5 times, the bones soften. So eventually I basically save all the bones. I give like 1 or 2 to my dogs, and then I put if I can get the pieces small enough, I'll put them in my smoothie. So, and it just grinds it all up. So another yummy ingredient for a super smoothie. But that's it. Oh, and the bone marrow was delicious, but apparently it's like 98% fat, because I had like 2.1 ounces and it was like 585 calories and only like 2 grams of protein. But it was good and it was delicious, and yeah, it makes my body better. That's it. That is it. Stay strong, stay positive, be the improvement warrior. Sunset has occurred. Blue blockers on. ImprovementWarriorFitness.com/blue blockers.